Okay, we are here with Hofri, who cares? Ghostforge. It is a 5 mana 4/5 dwarf cleric. Spirits you control get +1/+1 trample and haste. And whenever a non-creature token, a non-token creature dies, you exile it, and you get a spirit version of that card. So it's sort of like the Jolly Balloon Man, except slower and it needs the thing to die, right? It's a similar vein. I have the Balloon Man in this deck, right? And it's just kind of playing a wide range, or like a big chunk of it is sort of what the Balloon Man would run anyways, but this does have a pretty unique clause to it, right? Things that simply die on your turn for whatever reason, right? If you sack it to Ashnod's Altar, right? This is probably one of the best cards in the deck. You just sack your whole board to this. You have a bunch of colorless mana and do whatever. Now, I don't have a bunch of big, expensive things to do, but it is interesting that all of the things that come back have haste. So in some dream scenario, I could sack 3 creatures to this and then play cavalry, and then suddenly my opponent's dead anyways, even though I just sacked my whole board. So that's kind of cool. And again, white is way better than red. It just is. I'm not running a Braid, Lightning Bolt, and stuff. I probably can get away with that, but I want to play more cards that care about this just for the sake of, playing cards that let my commander actually do something to get, more interesting games out of my actual commander instead of, 45 removal spells or something. So we have all the card draw in white, right, and usually all 3 mana. There is a card that came to my attention that I did not play the last time, which is this. I think there's a fair amount of targets for this card. You could just play off the top of your deck to a degree with this card, and I probably would have put this in, the Balloon Man and the doll that I can't remember the name of, Anatasha or something. I would probably have put this in there, and I didn't know it existed, so now that I do, here it is. And there you go. This is particularly strong with Selfless Savior, right? Yep, this one just sacks it to give my commander indestructible, and it can do it again. That seems kind of nuts to me, actually. There's more of this effect. I think there's another dog, but you have to pay 1 mana to do it, so that's a little less exciting, right? But I'm sure I could slide it in here. I had Wormcoil in here for a second, because when Wormcoil dies, it's funny to get a flying trample haste Wormcoil. Well, haste, who knows if it gets haste. Haste is kind of weird, because it has to die before combat on your turn, and there's not a lot of cards that really do that. But a 7/7 flying trample Wormcoil seems great, especially one that already had left behind 2... Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if death triggers actually work, because it says when it dies you exile it. So I don't actually know if death triggers work. I think they do, though. I'm going to go ahead and assume they do, because it doesn't say exile it instead, like Rest in Peace says when it goes to graveyard, exile instead. So I think things dying actually work. If they don't, some of these cards would not work. But I'm going to go ahead and say it works, like Hope of Giapur sacking itself. You probably get a second one. We're going to go with that notion in mind. Okay, I'm absolutely confident it works. All right. And, yep, that's it. So let's find out what happens. Let's figure it out. Gear Hulk is funny. I just have to, get to Gear Hulk. Maybe I can. I don't know. Who knows? I certainly don't. All right. Sacred Foundry? No, let's just get a Plains because I'm... Well, wait, I can't. All right, Sacred Foundry. I don't really need more red. That is probably the worst thing to see here. Shoot. Yeah, that's one of the worst cards I could have seen, probably, out of my opponent. Rumor Gatherer. Okay. That is a good answer, so send it. Funny enough, if I had all mana rocks and stuff, I could have just vomited this out in play. Do I take 2? Yeah, I take 2. So let's play this and this. So this can't attack or block alone. Okay, Rumor Gatherer's looking pretty good too. I can't say I've played with that one before. So I did draw a land. Do I just play out my commander? I think so, because I have Cataclysmic Gearhulk on the backswing, so. Alright. This should sort of catapult me ahead. This is a sacrifice, or is it a destroy? Sacrifice. I have to choose this as my artifact as well, because Hofri has to be my creature. And I can't let this die again, so it has to be my artifact. Anim Pakal. Alright, there's a rather large board from the opponent, and they just sort of did what I do, which is draw a bunch of cards in the meantime, which is a little annoying. I think I want Rumor Gatherer in my deck now. I don't really care about Oketra's Monument. That is an insane amount of card draw there. My opponent is... The fact that they're not doing something else is weird. I don't know... Like, they had mana to cast their commander. I don't understand why they wouldn't just cast their commander. That's weird. So, artifact, creature, and that's it. Alright. It's got haste. Okay. I did lose my Mana Rock. If Gearhulk dies, it does reanimate itself, and that can be a problem, actually. So, we'll see what happens, I guess. Alright, there's a really high chance I just planar disruption this, because it could kill me if they, like, randomly play Delany. So, I gotta, like, do something about that. And I suppose I can just swing with these two? I'll keep Gearhulk. I'd rather my opponent not trade with Gearhulk for no reason, so... I would have really liked to have played this, but I don't know, I wasn't getting to 8 mana next turn anyways. Esper Sentinel's actually cooking too, right? It's got 2 power. This is totally fine with me, I think. It's funny, all these red-white commanders that, like, cannot fundamentally play Flage. So... These two? Because now they can't let Gearhulk die? No, you don't want to kill Gearhulk here. Okay. I was about to say, I don't think they want to kill Gearhulk. The doll, if they blow up the enchantment, is kind of spooky here, right? It's not looking like that's going to happen, though. They get rid of Skrelv's Hive. Interesting. So there is a rather large wall of 1/1s that I do have to somehow get through eventually. It's not just going to happen for free. They're reading Ghostforge. I don't know what that means. Are they going to kill Ghostforge? I can't say I'm terribly upset with that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still not enough. Boromir is probably just extremely problematic here, so let's lead with that. They can't kill the vampire, it just comes back. Yeah, it just comes back. It doesn't work. And then play this. Yep. Alright, so it seems as though me and my opponent agreed that card advantage was more important than board state after the board looks like this, and we beat their front-sided. Like, they had all these cards that were drawing cards, and once we dealt with that, we started having things that draw us cards, and my opponent understood the power of that, and once we get to that point, my opponent's out of gas, and I am not. Alright. Aragorn does a good job at blocking Ragavan, I will say, turn 1. So let's see if they have it. If they don't, I don't know if I win immediately, but it is a Ragavan on 1. It's actually been a while since I've played Ragavan on the play turn 1. Looks like we have it, so we're just hoping it's not a Boreal Grazer. And we're not too upset if it's just anything else ever. Lightning Bolt's kind of weird in an Aragorn deck. Let's play this. So now they can't play an enchantment-based ramp spell like Utopia Sprawl. I mean, they still can, but you know what I mean. Alright, that's annoying. Unbelievable. They trade it. I would have never done that. I'm very surprised to see that. They must have a really good enchantment or something, because Gallag Readers is just like is everything my opponent kind of wants, isn't it? Very strange. They got rid of something that was doing something, and this... Oh wait, this is the indestructible one. I'm sorry. This is the indestructible one. I thought it was the one that sacks things to do stuff. So Broodmoth is a pretty good card to play right now, and I think I will. It just seems super solid to play this here. My opponent Brainstorm locked themselves and didn't play anything with the 2 mana. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, that was just a god tier top deck, probably. The funny thing is, if they kill Cathar, it comes back with Broodmoth, so I don't think they can kill it. Unless they kill Broodmoth first. So they might want to, yeah. They might want to get rid of it there. So, let's see, 5. I'm actually going to hold on to this for the... No, that's not true, because I have another card that cares about it. Yeah, the Moth animation's pretty neat. Okay, this is a card I have never seen. Multicolored creatures. Multicolored creature dies, blah, 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 blah. Alright. I would really like to get Overwhelming Splendor, but this is kind of sketchy. So, I guess I'll just deal with it. And I'll run this out. Maybe 2 damage might have been better, honestly, than just playing this Iron Crag. Although the Iron Crag does get to be an equipment when I cast my Commander, so... Making my Heliod's Pilgrim lose all abilities is kind of funny. Suppose I can lead with this. Alright, Alright, so what do I swing with? I will take this action. I will take that action. What am I swinging with here? These two? Swing with literally everything because my commander's in play? That works as well, I guess. And now what? Nothing? Yeah, with Broodmoth, it's actually kind of really good, huh? It also stacked it in the way that I'd want it to, too. I didn't manually stack it. So Broodmoth brings it back before this does, and then it has flying, and then it dies again, and then can come back again. So Broodmoth is actually huge here. My opponent's just dead unless they have a obscene level of nonsense this very turn. Alright, well that's good, but I don't know if it's good enough. I think they're going to need a second spell. They did get every single trigger off of this. That's funny. I don't even think they can swing the Aragorn. Alright, so are they dead? Loses all other abilities. So, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And give protection from white and green. And they're dead? That's a hilarious way to kill somebody. Get schmeeded, opponent. I did it backwards, dude! I did it backwards. Oh my goodness, I did it backwards. No way. Okay, wait. I think I'm saved. I think all has been undone. Green. And give it protection from white now. 6, 7, 8. Alright. Almost screwed up my entire universe, but I didn't. Green and now white. And get wrecked. Almost messed it up. Almost messed it up. That is actually really funny. Can't target protection from white with a white card, but yeah, look at that. So a red land is a little weird, but I think I have to get one, so. And I will play... Looks like I might actually just play this. Okay. Get rid of maybe the Militia Bugler. I can get rid of that. That's fine. A little weird, but... I'm going to assume my opponent might be putting a lot of lands in play next turn. Alright, Bugler. Oh no, Bugler! No, bro! What are you doing? What are you doing, Bugler? What are you doing? You had one job, bro. You literally had one job, my guy. Oh no. Bugies, no. Actual nightmare. Oh geez. Alright, alright, that. And probably better than that? I don't know. Alright. Random interaction, go. Do stuff. Are we running knights? No. I don't think so. Well, that's a weird card to see. It's actually really weird. Alright. Oh, sweet. I didn't think they'd make that block. I don't think they wanted to make that block, honestly. That is interesting. Yep. Alright. I don't think that made a lot of sense, but who knows? Maybe they just... Yeah, it looks like now they're finally reading my commander. That is a... Ancestor Recall off the top, because Oracle the Alpha works for other people and not me. Fair enough. I mean, it is, you know, I am their opponent after all. Why not just top deck Ancestor Recall in your 100 card deck? Okay, well, suppose if I want to actually attack my opponent, I gotta do that. Still don't think I'm going to remove this Oracle from existence here. How much mana is it to flip this? 3? Might want to wait then in that case. Just want to leave up D-Spark. It always wants to tap this stupid key. It's like, oh, you don't need black and white mana in your red-white deck. And then it tries to tap your key. Okay, just more ramp. More ramp. More ramp. What is going on? No, Bugler finds power 2 or less. Which is I thought, a large chunk of my deck. I thought wrong. Okay, so I can play this, sacrifice 3 creatures, and these 2 come back with flying and haste. My opponent is not dead, though, and I feel like this might be my last turn. I'm getting that vibe. Wait, hold on. Whoa. Tap that for mana. And then sack you, and I guess I have to sack this, so... I believe this is more damage. Oh, look, it actually did something. It actually got something that I kind of might genuinely play, too. Okay, so do I play this and sack it? Does my opponent die? This is a 2/2 haste. They block 2... They block these, they take 5. This is not lethal, so... Send these. Maybe I just didn't want to send the mirror because I want to leave up D-Spark here. My opponent has so much mana. I mean, they basically have Omniscience. I think leaving up Humiliation is my best bet here. Oh, if only I had Lightning Bolt in my deck. Tragic. Yep. They did not block with this. I'd be surprised if it wasn't some kind of creature then. We'll find out real quick, I'm sure. Am I dead to River's Rebuke? I don't think so. Okay, opponent, I'm going to need you to have a bit of a weaker extra turn, please. Appreciate it. Oh no, I wanted to kill this in response. Wait, what? Okay, I guess I didn't want to kill it in response. Uh-huh. Well, I don't think all that life does... I mean, that doesn't matter. They literally have 2 mana. If they have Time Walk, I'm probably going to uninstall Magic Arena. I might just uninstall Magic Arena. Oh, I might just call it quits. Or just, at the very least... stop playing today. If they have Time Walk, I'm just gonna stop playing the game. Take the mana with them when they die. Okay, they didn't have Time Walk. We can actually play. We can keep the stream is saved. Time Walk, no scammies. I'm still gonna play this as my land, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen 4-color Omnath, actually. I'm not extremely excited about my curve here, honestly, but yeah, it'll find itself. It'll put itself together, I'm sure. It'll put itself together. Opponent's probably confused why I would name a white in a spot like this. Don't worry, opponent, it is confusing. So... get rid of Boromir, I think? Yeah. I maybe could have gotten rid of Disciple as well. Opponent, namely, cannot play a land right now, so this works out quite nicely. Esper Sentinel is probably better than this drafty thingy. So. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, we have Excavator, as is tradition. Alright. I'll just send everything. It's fine. And then I'll Cavalier later. It's like there's some kind of removal spell anyways. Alright, on the bright side, it's the removal spell I usually don't get really upset with, so that's always nice. Although, I mean, I don't really need the mana. Alright, Cavalier, I need you to, kill Omnath again? Oh, never mind. Get wrecked. Alright, love to see that. A lot of people seem to do blocks that I wouldn't. Anointed Procession's right up my alley. It's what I want to be doing, I guess. But this is a 4-color this deck. Well, of course I can't do anything about Omnath. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Okay. I was about to say. Please. Please, opponent, please. Do I swing with my commander? I'm gonna just not swing with my commander. I'm already, like, undescribably far behind. I don't think I can afford to risk losing my commander in a spot like this. I'm just so far behind here. This is a decent way to catch up, but still. Alright, Cathar's Crusade is another just good card. I don't know. Oh, come on. Stop doing this. Please stop doing this. Bruh. I just want Omnath to not be around. Is that so much to ask? Is that so much to ask, opponent? Am I asking too much of you? Clearly I am. I'm sorry, what? Okay. Yeah. You got it. That is, yep. That's a thing that you can do. Was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. Very interesting. Okay, so Cathar's Crusade into Balloon Man, into copying Cavalier, into the nth degree of cyberbullying, I guess. Nice. Wow. For someone who had 25 Omnaths, I kind of can't believe I won that. But I was right about my opponent's life total not mattering, right? They did such a good job at keeping Omnath around. But they were, I mean, these are some pretty cool cards. I have no idea what's going on. Omnath Mutate is kind of interesting. I like the idea of this. I just haven't seen anything before like that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it just... all it took for my opponent really was a very strong card, and then I'm just completely knocked out of the game. But I guess they didn't really have anything extremely egregious, even with... what they had like a full hand and 50 lands, and Omnath in play, and I didn't just instantly lose. I'm going to go ahead and say that's not very common, but... wow, I haven't seen that. ICUP. I think that's maybe a play on words there. Alright, moving on. I had 8 mana, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I had 8 mana. Did I not have 8 mana? What? What do you mean? There was 3 left when I played that 5-drop. Pretty sure I had 8 mana. So, doing this probably wins me the game. Who knows? Let's find out. I had 7? That's why I didn't light up. Are you serious? I didn't have a land either? I got upset for no reason? I'm gonna throw a challenge flag at that. I guess I have to take your word for it. Oh, look who showed up. Send it. This is a bit of a questionable start, honestly. Oh, of course, my opponent just has the perfect card to offset their commander, as is tradition. Well, if I had 7, I had 7. Could have swore I didn't, though. I'm going to Surveil and then play this. I'm not going to play the Broodmoth. That is not what I want. I mean, it is a land, though, so at the very least it does that. So, alright, I don't know. Yep, let's go to the tape. Throwing a challenge flag. Going to the tape. I love people that kill it before all the triggers resolve, like it matters. I just think that's funny. It's like, oh, I better do it before these triggers resolve. You never know what might happen. That's funny. This is also... oh, it's an artifact. It's an artifact. I can just kill it. Rabble rousing. Ooh, that also probably has to not exist. Alright, my opponent's doing things that I don't want to have happen. Rabble rousing is in just such a dirty card, honestly. So let's name Knight. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's just name Cleric. And play this and blow up the Rabble rousing so I don't lose the game. Seems like a good idea. Ashnod's Altar is interesting. So I think this works the way I want it to. Which is kind of funny. Yep. Wow. So my opponent had a, you know, the 1-drop beatdown start. I had a very slow start, but they didn't kill me in time. I'm actually still at 20. And then from here I can just completely turn this game around in an egregious fashion here, right? So, yeah, just Doll next turn. I can't really do anything else anyways, so... Alright, well, on the bright side, I didn't really need red mana, but I did end up finding it. What is this, Stifle? The heck is that? No shot that was a Stifle. Was there a reason they did not play... Oh, they had a tap land on turn 2? That's kind of weird, actually. I feel like they did that backwards. Another tap land. They just really wanted to pay for Esper Sentinel. Alright, that's fair, I guess. So... Probably really good to play the Ashnod's Altar, I think. Mainly because Overwhelming Splendor is in my hand. If it wasn't for that, I'm not terribly excited about this. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I can just play this and maybe just win. Maybe just win. Although, the fact that I might still... It probably is reasonable to not just run into nonsense and just not play this. I really think my opponent has Stifle. I think they have Stifle here. They do? Okay. Fortunately, I don't care. Fortunately, we don't really care about that. So let's sack. This is fine for me. Nice read. Yeah, I know. Both a blessing and a curse. If I untap with Ashnod's Altar, my opponent is in a world of big yikes here. Okay, so lead with this. Play this. This might be a completely disgusting turn, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. We probably just stop there, right? I mean, this is just sitting in play, so... Up to my opponent to deal with Overwhelming Splendor, and if they do... Big yikes. It's funny how you get to these positions and then just instantly lose when they have River's Rebuke or Cyclonic Rift. It's kind of funny. Like, I set all this up, and then I lose to, like, this one card that's better than this. It's kind of ridiculous. When that happens, it just feels so bad. Alright, well, at least they didn't pay for this, which makes sense. They have to, like, actually do something. Alright, they didn't get it. Get wrecked. Yep, unless you have an answer for it, you just get totally wrecked. And one of those two cards was not in their hand. Assuming they were even in their deck, I'm sure they were. Okay, this is actually looks like a good hand. I've been struggling. It's been actually a good while since I've got my commander in play, honestly. I've noticed that. It's been like 30 minutes, maybe even longer, since I've cast my commander. It was that game with the Ashnod's Altar, right? I think it was. That was... Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like this to start, though. So I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on. It just doesn't seem to be... I'm just not able to play it. Just not able to get it into play. Turn 1 Cavern is weird. Usually... You almost never see Turn 1 Cavern, actually. I'd be very surprised if that was their only land. It's very unusual. It might have been. I mean, this Turn 1 just seems like a better idea. Alright. So, this, and flash this in. Should they just cast? Yep. I run this out. Let's see what's on top. I think I actually do want a land. Let's get rid of their commander. They kept it under the Brutal Cathar. That's spooky. You don't usually see that. They did keep it on the... Yeah, right. They did keep it under the Okay, so they have swords to plowshares? Is that what's going on? Possibly. Most likely, right? Of course. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have that? Let's just blow it up. Again, shall we? I should have swung first. Should have swung first. Mistakes have been made. It's alright. Yep, I'm just passing. So getting my commander next turn seems pretty ideal, I guess. How the game's going? I mean, they're going alright. It's alright. It's nothing amazing, but I mean, it's decent, I guess. I think I will play Boromir here instead of doing anything else. So I have a solid board state, but I don't have a solid way to get through all of what my opponent's doing. Though I maybe have some kind of Alpha Strike here. It looks like I might have an Alpha Strike here. Mockingbird. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe I do again. That's a rather unusual decision, in my opinion. Let's correct this. Lauren, that does not deal with the magic cards in play, so let's play this. Demonic Tutor is just stupid. I don't know what I'm Demonic Tutoring for. Let's swing with this, that, and this. Can I swing with my commander too? I guess I can, actually. Okay. Maybe I didn't have to swing with Boromir, but I don't know. Damage is damage, and I gotta do something here, right? They are taking a whole lot of damage. I have nothing to tutor for that's, like, amazing. Maybe I should just keep this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Fight me. Sending it. So, of these two, I would rather play Splendor, because I'm so far ahead anyways. No, I don't have Lightning Bolt, opponent, don't worry. I don't have Lightning Bolt. Fear not. So they're going to name Creature here, and then I win. And then I win. So if I actually did get the other Cavalier, I would have lost. I actually would have lost. Get reverse tiered. Actually reverse tiers. I'm just gonna name the commander. Rip that band-aid off now. Greater Auramancy. Other enchantments have Shroud. Enchantment creatures have Shroud. Okay. Sure. So now I can't blow up Sanctum of All if they just run it out in some way, shape, or form. Part of me wants to play Ashnod's Altar next turn. I mean, I'm not going to play Flage for no value. So. Okay, well, here comes the green being the best thing in the 5-color deck. If they have it, I lose. But they don't always have it. It is a one of. It is a one of. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. I don't know the last time I've seen this card, honestly. I could not tell you. I don't think Key to the Archive can win me this game on its own, but if it gets approached the second sun, maybe? Maybe there's something there? Alright. Do nothing ramp deck. Sounds about right. Guess I'll just discard Flage at this point. Demonic Tutor is... I mean, I can't Frozen Grip anything except this, and I mean, that's alright. That just seems weird. I'm probably just better off casting Demonic Tutor and finding something else. I don't know what. I don't know what is super reliable in my deck at this point. So that has Shroud. Let's play Commander. No, let's Tutor. I have 5/6 mana. I guess I just take this, right? How do I not take that? And then I get rid of... Ooh, maybe I didn't even want to play it. Yikes. I don't think I wanted to play this turn. I could have waited, honestly. I don't think I wanted to play that, dude. I probably wanted to wait a turn. That may have been a colossal whoopsie. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have waited a turn, for sure. I should have waited. Okay, I'm not upset with this outcome, I guess. I mean, all things considered, it could have been worse. So play this, or do I swing first? Why would I do that? Doesn't matter. Let's go get a mountain. I will cast my commander pre-combat, and then I will swing. And I can sack Gearhulk whenever I choose, and that's very good, I think, because of my commander's trigger. So maybe I bailed myself out. But I think I pulled the trigger too early. Does that matter? There's nothing I can do about that, right? Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. There's nothing I can do. Okay. All things considered, life could be worse for us here. Life could be worse. I don't think they're gonna kill my commander in combat, so I'll just swing with it. In fact, killing it doesn't seem like a good idea, so they'll probably just not kill it. Wow, they do? Wow, okay. I feel like I would not have done that. I mean, I lost the mana with the altar because of that, but I just didn't respect my opponent to do that. Okay, so decline. I did not expect that. So now we get to kill their commander. I mean, my opponent signed up for this. Alright. And then I'll play Enduring Innocence and hope my opponent doesn't have Farewell. Yep, look at that. Get absolutely schmeeded. Okay, so I actually really like this commander. So I went from the doll, the Boros doll that tries to swing a bunch of small things in play, and then I went to the Balloon Man, which I had a better time with. It's a slower deck, Boros, you know, value engine, although mostly white. And then I went to an even slower engine in the form of this, the Ghostforge. And I would say that this can probably play an even slower game than the Balloon Man, although this does a good job at also playing a pretty slow game. The value this gets is kind of crazy, right? If your opponent doesn't respect it, it runs out of control. I saw people block thinking that it's a favorable block because the creature dies, but then it comes back because of the Ghostforge, and I get value out of it. And I was totally fine with that. And if they didn't block, they took damage, right? So it's very interesting. It's almost like a lot of your smaller creatures are pseudo-Ragavans as they swing into larger creatures that your opponent might not want to block. And that's, you know, sort of really good. I had all the white engines in the deck, so I could just draw a boatload of cards that all have just enough value to allow the game to kind of continue. Instead of, you know, random 2/2 with barely any text, I lose the game because my opponent cast Wrath of God. I can sort of come back if I have one or two things, even just one, that draws a card every time I play a card. And there's a lot of that in the mid-range white thing right now, right? So that was really nice. I will say, what was the card? Assemble the Prayers never drew a card, and I believe there was one or two instances it could have. I just had a better thing to do instead, I think. It is sort of valuable to actually see the top of your deck. I will say that as well. There's a lot of fetch lands. There's value in looking at what the next card is. It helps you dictate what your current turn looks like. There's actually just value in that alone. I don't think you would play it if that's all the card said. But it was, all right. I will say that was pretty valuable. There's not a boatload of targets for Assemble in this deck, I will say. However, there's probably enough that I think it's still worth running. I think so. I would say so. But I can see the argument of that card itself being some random creature that's good, instead of this card in the future giving you value, because the first card you cast off of it is card advantage. It's just this itself could have been that threat that you put into play. But, you just gotta hope that it actually pays itself off. Otherwise, you're gonna wish it was an actual creature that did something. It's a singleton 100 card format. It's hard to play test a single card a bunch of games. You have to actually draw it and, stuff like that. And you also have to have time to actually cast it. No surprise that red is, yet again, the least prolific color by a landslide. I wasn't even running Lightning Bolt. Maybe Ragavan could have come out. It's funny that Ragavan comes back with this. It's just that that actually I don't think ever happened. I don't think that ever happened. Ashnod's Altar. I think I said this in the intro. This I assumed was going to be the best card of the deck. It absolutely was the best card in the deck. It wasn't even close. Every time I'm sacking creatures for mana, it let me cheat out expensive things that I could also sacrifice to trigger twice, and trigger whatever I sacrificed twice. Like Lauren, or anything, just sacking it twice is pretty huge. And with the Broodmoth, you can actually sacrifice it, stack it so the Broodmoth resolves, and then it comes back with a flying counter, and then if it dies again, it goes with the Ghostforge. You gotta make sure you stack it so this resolves first, but that does work, right? It does mean this isn't doing anything when something dies, but that's kind of fine, because you have a third layer of BS that your opponent has to deal with, and, I mean, why would you not take that, right? And I think that's about it. I think that's about all I've got to say for it. I like this commander. I'm surprised I had never seen it before, up until, what was it, yesterday? I played against it, right? It was either yesterday or the day before. I had never seen this commander, and I did own it. It is a mythic. It's pretty good. I can recommend it. It's a fun commander. It plays interesting cards. Your opponent has to deal with it when it's in play sometimes. And it can be kind of hard to deal with, especially if you have, Giver of Runes or something in play. There were a lot of games, especially in the second half of playing it, that I actually did not cast it. There was I was in a lot of positions where I had other things I needed to do before I could cast it. So I'm just playing a bunch of creatures and sitting there hoping they're good enough, hoping I untap with them so I can then play the Ghostforge. There was just a lot of awkward instances of that happening, but maybe it's not that awkward because the things I was doing in the intermediate kept me in the game, as opposed to playing a 5-mana 4/5 that may have done nothing, right? And that's kind of fine. You don't actually have to cast it until you have things in play that care about it. And that's probably okay. It felt fine, right? It felt fine. Also, make sure you don't cast Cavalier of Dawn when Moonshaker wins the game, because I did that once. I know the art isn't even that similar, but it's like a knight that's ethereal, that's glowing. And yeah, I accidentally cast Cavalier instead of Cavalry, and it cost me a game. So just be wary of that. Be wary of this here. That happened to me. Yeah. All right. Let me know what you thought about this list. If you have cards that I didn't know exist and you think it would make this way better, and you were screaming in the comments or watching the whole video, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.